Hello guys, this is Steno for All YouTube channel. Here we provide you Hindi or English shorthand dictations at different speed. Today I am going to provide you English dictation at the speed of which will help you in various Steno skill tests. So get ready. Start. In 2018, the then 18-year-old posted his first TikTok, a 15-second videos of himself dancing to a Bollywood song with the rice fields of his Uttar Pradesh village in the backdrop. Ansari looks funny dancing, as he is happy to admit, but that didn't stop his video from becoming viral, or perhaps that's what did it. Hands top and say laugh and you are hooked is how is it explained his wide success on the platform. Since 2017, when he left his village and his job at the local hardware store to move to Lucknow and then Mumbai, Ansari, a school dropout, has earned more than 2 million followers and over rupees 1 lakh in monthly income from public appearances and brand endorsements. All the had to do, he says, was stay true to his character. Now that TikTok's gone, he is trying his best to brave it out. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, no issues, the public knows me and that's what matters. I will find another platform from where I can earn an income, he said. The fact that someone like Shilpa Shetty or Ritesh Deshmukh has to do duets with this dancer from a village in order to be popular on TikTok explains its appeal to users, says Sheikh Khalfan, whose Mumbai-based online channel tracks TikTok celebrities. He now spends his entire time consoling them. The stars are in a frenzy trying to build their presence on YouTube or Instagram, but they are too used to the rhythm of TikTok, Khalfan said. A 30-second video is all it took to get famous overnight, so people put out all their creativity into it, whether it was comedy or karaoke. And even after they earned followers, that's how they approached every video. That habit will be hard to break out of it, he said. For the followers too, it won't be an easy switch from TikTok to another video entertainment platform. On TikTok, you like something and it keeps giving you more and more of that. I like dance videos, for example, and my feed never runs out of it. The platform understands the human brain, Khalfan said. He is not wrong. TikTok users spend most of their time on the app going through a feed made for them via artificial intelligence. The L system offers them a random stream of popular videos when they sign up and studies how they react to each one, from the time they spend watching a video to the speed with which they swipe up or down, besides reading the obvious signals such as likes, comments and follows. The more time users spend inside the app, the better it becomes at predicting what they will like. To be sure, experts have long questioned this system, saying the data collected on users was not only being transferred to third-party business but also possibly to the Chinese government. Moreover, TikTok was found last month to have intercepted personal data of users by logging their keystrokes in an attempt to circumvent end-to-end encryption. The effect of its algorithm was often addictive. Through most of India's months-long coronavirus sparked lockdown, TikTok remained the country's most downloaded app as people sought an escape from the reality. Now they will have to find another distraction. 2. Sabira Khan, a popular creator known for posting and sad videos. This feels like an end. The news has broken me. I have been crying since I heard I had just reached a million followers, and it had taken me a lot of hard work through these months of lockdown, said the creator. The ongoing standoff between the Indian and Chinese forces in eastern Ladakh is a fork in the road, fundamentally reshaping the direction of the bilateral relationship over the last few years. The architects of the gradual thaw and developing partnership between the two sides, which began in 1988, had been warning about the withering of old mechanisms that had keep the peace of disputed boundary. Despite the pageantry of informal symmetry, the strategic guidance provided by the leaders to their respective militaries has clearly not succeeded in stemming incidents. In November 2019, the Minister of State for Defense, Shripad Naik, told Parliament that the People's Liberation Army (PLA) had transgressed into Indian territory 1025 times between 2016 and 2018. Roughly a third of these incidents took place in 2018. In April that year, Prime Minister PM Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping held the first of their two informal summits. Recent reports suggest that the number of transgressions across the line of actual control (LAC) increased significantly in 2019. In fact, over the past decade or so, both India and China had seemingly settled into a routine characterized by episodes of scuffles, transgressions, and incursions at different locations along the boundary. Some of these, of course, drew greater attention and were more intense than others. This had become an uneasy pattern. The loss of life in the Galwan Valley, the first in 45 years, on June 15 presents a clear break in this pattern. The current scenario therefore throws up a new challenge for diplomats, military personnel, and political leaders on both sides. While we cannot return to the ways of the past, it is important to arrive at a new normal. Doing so, however, will first require PLA to step back and the ground situation in eastern Ladakh to return to the April status quo. This will not be easy and will not happen quickly, if at all. It will likely require more than military level engagement, which is largely what has taken place over the past month. In the interim, it is important for India not to let its guard down militarily. It must consider demonstrating asymmetric, low intensity escalatory options in other sectors and theaters. Economic measures, on the other hand, need to be carefully calibrated, keeping in mind the costs to the Indian economy. Cutting off one's nose to spite one's face will be strategic folly. If and when de-escalation is achieved, it will need to be followed by sustained high-level engagement and significant political capital being spent. Given the differences in the governance systems of the two countries, the political cost is of course going to be higher for any Indian leadership than for China's leaders. The fact that the conflict doesn't serve either side's strategic interests is likely to encourage the two leaderships to consider bearing the cost of engagement. Does that mean that we should rule out the possibility of conflict? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that both sides will incur extremely heavy costs in case of conflict. For all its bluster, a conflict will seriously retard Beijing's march towards its centenary goals. At the same time, even with significant